Okay, thank you so much, guys. That has been some rich scoop on golf. Right now, onto scouting for the big six. I know Arsenal needs Tail, Manu needs the Cam, Spurs needs a miracle. I don't know who is buying smart for 2026.
I would say, Max, early days in the transfer window, but I think Liverpool so far have shown their intent very early. They've so far signed 3 players. Liverpool, of course, they were heads and shoulders above everyone else in the Premier League season. And now they've gotten Florian Wirtz, fantastic footballer. They've gotten Frimpong, who's been seen as the replacement for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And Liverpool already looking like they're going to be the favorites next season, Mark, even before
a ball is kicked here. Because that squad was stacked and they didn't need to add too many people. The worry was, were they going to lose many so they need replacements? They started, of course, by tying Salah down and Virgil van Dijk, so they still have those for next season. There were question marks about Luis Diaz and about Darwin Núñez and also about the Italian, because some of the guys have not gotten as much playing time as they probably would, but it's because the competition up front is quite stiff. It's between 6 players, and by the end of the season, mostly Salah and Gakpo had established themselves as starters, and then as well as Diaz, and so Jota and Darwin Núñez were perhaps feeling a bit left out and all, but most likely the window is still open, so one of those could still leave. Núñez, I believe, might still leave, but they're going to keep the other core. And now they've added Frimpong and Wirtz. Wirtz is a great playmaker. They've brought him into an area where they already even have players being supposed to plays there. And Curtis Jones has also played well.
Even McAllister
sometimes plays advanced also in midfield. So they are stacked. They've done well. But Mark, I'll tell you that the other team that I've liked how they go about their quiet business has been Chelsea, because Chelsea were struggling as much as Man United at the start of last season. No, they started well and looked like title contenders. When they fell off, they looked like Man United. They were that bad as well. Dropped so low, but eventually they picked themselves up under the Enzo Maresca, made a cup run, which ended in a final in the Conference League, which they won, unlike United, who lost the Europa final. And then in there, they managed to actually fight their way back into the top 5 and earn a Champions League place on merit. So they had a good run at the end. Now they've gone and signed players quietly. There's a guy called Dario Esuga. He's coming from Sporting Lisbon, midfielder. They've signed the Brazilian wonder kid Estevao. In fairness, they already had him, but he was still on loan at Flamengo, so he's coming in. They've signed Liam Delap, the striker from Ipswich. They were looking for a backup for Nicholas Jackson or somebody to compete with Jackson, because they didn't think he's the ultimate number 9. So now they have Liam Delap, and I saw him actually have an impact.
At the Club World Cup,
Club World Cup against Seattle Sounders. He actually set up the second goal for Enzo Fernandez. I think they won 2-0. Pedro Neto scored the first, and they got the second from Enzo Fernandez, their captain. But that goal was set up by Liam Delap. So he's probably already fitting in. He's getting a good preseason in a competition. And they signed another defender from the French league, from Strasbourg, called Mamadou Sarr. So Chelsea have signed 4 players quietly, while all the eyes are on the speculation as to who is going to become Arsenal's new number 9 and who is going to become Man United's new number 9. Most of the headlines have been there. And who is going to be the replacement for Kevin De Bruyne at Man City. Chelsea have gone about their business quietly, and now they have a full squad.
Mark, I also like, Pep Guardiola, for once, and there's not so much attention which is being paid to Man City. But I like Ryan Shaki.
That's a good signing.
It's a very, very good signing.
I wonder though, Mark, Ryan Shaki plays as a wide forward, so inverted sometimes. So he has been playing that way for Lyon. We saw him in that Europa game against Man United, where he really shone despite United knocking them out in the Europa semi-finals. But they have...
And he scored the cracker against Spain.
Yeah, against Spain.
In the Europa Nations League semi-finals.
For France, yeah.
For France, yes, for France.
He plays for France. He scored against, was it Spain?
Against Spain, yeah, it was against Spain. 5-4, yeah.
And yet he should be playing for North African country. But then, never mind.
Like many French attackers.
Yeah. But the thing is, Mark, I was saying, in the wide areas, they have got Jeremy Doku. They've got Jack Grealish, but maybe Grealish is leaving.
Grealish, I think, is a little out.
Yeah, they've got Mamouche, who can play both as a leader of the line and as a wide player. They've got Phil Foden, who can play as a lead, as a 10, as a wide player. They've got Bernardo Silva, who can play also in central midfield, but also as a wide player. And they've got the Brazilian, Savinho,
yes.
So how does Czech fit into that Man City bit? But even if I know that Pep is trying to rebuild, I don't know.
Pep is trying to rebuild. Grealish, I think, is exiting. But the fact of the matter is that, Mark, is that you're going to need the squads.
Yeah.
Squad depth is very, very important. And Liverpool are champions because of the squad depth they had. Yes, they had a clean bill of health. Yes, Mo Salah had an outstanding season. But the fact of the matter is that you need depth at the end of the day because the games are coming in thick and fast. You're going to have so many World Cup qualifiers coming in next year. You're going to have, Man City is a team which wants to compete on all fronts. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you can be sure that Pep is going to figure out how. There's no coach who is more daring and more experimental than Pep Guardiola.
Yes.
So he's the sort of person who's going to thrive with the kind of players.
Yeah, I think one of the things he's probably looking to, Mark, is to actually cut the average age of that team.
Yeah.
Well, so De Bruyne has been on his way out, but you could see at some point, even the injuries affected, and he had run out of legs when they needed them. But then also there were some key players in positions who are actually also getting on. A person like Bernardo Silva is already over 30. And on 1 year rolling contracts, I don't know if he's going to even get another.
I think even Gundogan is on rolling contract.
Exactly. So those are some of the players he was looking to help when things were going bad. When Rodri got injured, when they were missing players, are actually getting on. And so it's the same with the captain he sent on loan to AC Milan at the back. Kyle Walker, yeah. So I think he's looking to cut the average age down. He has already brought in in mid-season, he brought in Nico Gonzalez and Mamouche, Omar Mamouche. Those are younger players. Czechia, I think, falls in that area. Now with
Foden is still young, Haaland is still young,
so he can recreate. Yes. With De Bruyne, he cannot get a replacement for De Bruyne, who's one for one, because there's no player like De Bruyne in Europe, the whole of Europe.
No, not at all.
But I understand that Pep has brought in Tijani Reinders from AC
good
Milan.
Midfielder.
Now that's a good midfielder. He will give them dynamism and legs, because he's young, he runs, he creates, he takes on people, beats them, he scores great goals. He's not KDB, but he's going to give them a fresh look. And I've liked that as well. But we cannot leave transfer talk without talking about the big two in as far as the following is concerned, especially in our part of the world. Arsenal and Man United, Mark.
Well, Arsenal have been linked to one of these two players. They've focused primarily all their attention on the goal scoring department, deservedly so. It's either going to be Gyökeres or Benjamin Sesko. So it depends on which speculation you're listening to. The telltale signs are that Arsenal have, Gyökeres is prefers Arsenal to Man United. But then the speculation around Sesko is not dying away. I do not know, Mark, if Arsenal is playing this card to show Gyökeres that we have an option. If you don't come to us, there's Sesko waiting for us. Or they're indeed interested in Sesko and they're trying to, and the speculation of Gyökeres is being fronted by the agent, because these things do happen. You have an agent who's in the media trying to show the other club that my striker has got many potential suitors. So I do not know. I think the way Arsenal plays, Gyökeres would do them a world of good, better than Sesko. And I'm not saying Sesko is not a good striker. I just think they just need that finisher who's going to give them 25, 30 goals, which Gyökeres would probably guarantee because it's more out and out as opposed to...
It's ironic, Mark. Arsenal actually need that kind of box finisher, the kind Gyökeres is, the ruthless guy who puts away chances, because they've not had that.
When was the last time Arsenal had that sort of finisher?
I can.
You'd have to
to
dig,
go
yeah.
far back. I think actually, since Ian Wright,
Yeah, they haven't
Arsenal
had
have not had proper number
Yes.
nines. The people who came in there who are top scoring for them, Thierry Henry and
They were not proper box
no,
players.
no. Yeah, Alexis Sanchez at
Yeah.
some point was getting loads of goals for them and all. These were not number nines, but maybe Olivier Giroud was. Olivier Giroud was a proper nine.
Yeah.
But they've not had those kinds for a long time. So they need a jokeress. Funny thing is that actually, while you say that about Sesko, Mark, Sesko actually suits Arsenal's style more, but jokeress is the one they need more.
Yes.
Sesko is, despite Sesko being a tall, big guy, he actually is agile. He runs the channels. He's got great footwork and can do all the things that you wouldn't expect from a guy that big, that tall. But he can't match the numbers of Gyökeres. Although Sesko has been somebody playing at Leipzig who has been looking to get that big break and clubs have not been looking there for some reason for 3 years now.
I think, Mark, that this season both players, and I'm sure Gyökeres will be leaving Sporting. I'm sure Sesko will be leaving Lille. I don't know the destinations. Will be leaving Leipzig.
Yeah.
But I think just like Arsenal, Mark, United's biggest problem, and United have got more problems than Arsenal, way more problems, is in striking.
Yes, yeah.
The club just don't score that many goals for a club of United's stature and caliber. And given the kind of season they had, they just need to get someone who's going to guarantee them 25, 30 goals. And they haven't had that player in a long time.
Yeah, that man is either, again, Gyökeres or the other Victor, who is Osimhen. These are guys who score upwards of 20 goals per season. So I think that United will have to be looking that way. But, and while Mark knows very well that I've fancied Sesko for them for many years now, perhaps he's fallen down that pecking order. The thing is that if Gyökeres turns out to be out of reach, then United might scramble around. Mark knows that I've said somewhere on another forum that I thought that United should be smart in the window. There are clubs which are big in stature around Europe, which have the talent that fits that kind of club, but have actually struggled so much so that, like United, they're either not going to be playing in Europe next season or players are looking to move. So you can actually exploit that. Now, when you look, because of the transition, for example, at Bayer Leverkusen, with Xabi Alonso leaving and Bayern taking back the title they had won, Frimpong and Wirtz have gone to Liverpool. Jonathan Tah in defense has gone to Bayern.
Yeah.
So that is a club you could have gone and plucked somebody out of. And they also have strikers, especially the guy, there's another Nigerian Victor, called Boniface, yeah, who I thought if United want a player like that, I think he got injured a bit last season and fell off a bit, but he's actually a goal scorer. But also, Leipzig, like you've talked about, and a team where you can get people. Xavi Simons is there, Benjamin Sesko. There are guys who are looking to perhaps move on. Because Leipzig played Champions League football 2 years ago, and all this season they've really struggled. They were beaten in the Champions League and finished way low in the Bundesliga. There are good players there that you can get. Teams like Sevilla in Spain, very big club, struggled so badly. They finished very, very low. They have players. Mark knows I like a guy like Dodi Lukebakio. The reason I say that, Mark, is that Lukebakio, this kind of season he had in Spain, playing as a wide forward or as a 10 sometimes, the Belgian, is the same, say, as the season like Eberechi Eze has had in the Premiership. Now, Eze at Crystal Palace even scored the winner in the FA Cup final against Man City. Has had such a great season that if he was getting rave reviews even when England lost to Senegal as the one player who stood out. And I saw that two United legends, and we know they have influence, Dwight York and Paul Scholes, were saying, go get him. During the commentary of that game against Senegal, they were saying, United, go and get him. But Eze would cost, say, twice the amount of Dodi Lukebakio, while they have the same output. So I'm saying United ought to be smart in the window, but I don't know if they're targeting clubs like those. AC Milan.
Rafael Leao. I think Rafael Leao would
because
a world of
AC Milan struggled. They're not going to be playing Champions League football this year.
He's got pace to burn. He speaks English.
Yeah.
He can play inside. He can play wide.
Yeah, and he's
a
a
young
Portuguese.
man.
There's already Portuguese players at a United club. Yeah, so he'll be joining Bruno and Dallo.
Yeah.
And it works that way. And the Brazilian in Cunha, they all speak Portuguese.
Mark, even in United's current state, and I've said this, in the club, I think even a striker like Ademola Lookman would do United a world of good, because whatever they have doesn't compare with the Ademola Lookman.
Yeah, now that is at Atalanta. So those are the clubs you target. They are very good, but they have players who think United is a big stage, and United need players who think United is a big stage, which is why Cunha is a good signing for United. This is a guy who was at Wolves. He doesn't care whether United are going to Europe or not. He says, I am going to that big club. And I think it's a good signing. On that note, and as I wind up with the United thing, I also heard I've seen somewhere, but I've not seen official links, but I've seen somewhere that Hugo Ekitike, that's the striker who's at Frankfurt, the French striker at Frankfurt, I think is off the conveyor belt of PSG guys. He plays in a similar style to Mayulu and Desiree Doué and all, and he scores lots of goals. But I hear that he's a United fan since he was a kid.
Wow.
So those are the kinds of people you target. The guy wants to play for United, is big enough to play there, but he doesn't think that United being out of Europe is a big deal. Those are the ones you go for.
And Mark, how about Ewan Ferguson?
Guys, thank you, guys. Thank you.
United
Let's not get
dodged the bullet there.